what your rank says about you. Now, please don't get upset with me if I make a joke about your rank or tell you what you're doing wrong. They're either facts or I'm completely joking. Let's start off with the copper players, then work our way up to the champs at the end of the video. Now, if you're not throwing just to get in copper, there should legitimately only be two reasons why you're in copper. The first is you're a brand new player and you don't really have a grasp on the game yet. And the other reason is you're honestly just not good at Siege, and that's okay. Let's start off with the new players first though. I'll be honest, Siege is probably the hardest game to learn as a new player, especially with the sheer amount of map knowledge alone you'll have to learn. Also with all the operators and the interactions they have with each other and the map. Plus, you don't really get in a ton of gunfights in Siege, so it's even hard to learn the weapons because you're not shooting them as often as, say, a game like Call of Duty. But you new copper players that stick with the game will eventually get out no problem. But you have to get to level 50 first before you can even start playing ranked. So if you're level 50 and copper, that might be a slight problem, but you'll get out of it. Don't worry, trust me. Now it's time for the level like 100 players who are still in copper. Look, you can only blame your teammates so much before you take a step back and look at yourself and wonder, why am I still in copper? Teammates might be part of the problem, but ultimately it's just that you're not very good at the game, and that's completely fine. Trust me, there's a rank system for a reason, and of course there will be people at the lower ranks. It's just how it works. If you're level 100 but still in copper, you really do need to evaluate why you are so far behind everyone else. Get into T-Hunt, practice your crosshair placement, learn the basics of quick peeking and practice recoil control. Also, you need to watch like a ton of YouTube videos on people better than you to learn how they maneuver throughout the map and how they approach gunfights and strategies. I wouldn't recommend going to watch like Bolo or, you know, some other like amazing content creator. Look up someone who's like, you know, plat or diamond, or watch some Twitch streamers who are plat and diamond and see how they maneuver through the map and approach gunfights. And then once you get better, then you can move on with the more advanced players. Odds are you solo queue a ton or don't take the game seriously. Both of those are fine, but if you are trying to get better, you're going to have to change that mentality up. Now let's move on to the bronze players now. Okay, so bronze players have some potential to dig themselves out of there. I will say that the teammate excuse is a little more believable as a bronze player. You definitely have potential to make it into silver, but odds are you solo queue a lot and don't communicate or formulate strategies with your team. I bet more often than not, there isn't a hard breacher and an operator that gets rid of utility on your team like a Thatcher, and you guys are only playing fragging operators. So you guys are relying on gunfights more, and with a game where every single map has a higher defender win ratio to attackers, you're very likely to lose your attacking rounds if you don't start bringing basic strategies. Same thing as copper players, you are either very new to the game or just not very good, and both of those options are okay. If you're new, keep practicing, start taking the game seriously, and genuinely focus on getting better. If you're like level 100 and in bronze, we have some problems. I'm assuming you are somewhat decent at hitting your shots, and the majority of your problems come from not having great game sense or playing way too aggressively. Working on your shot is going to be way easier than improving your game sense. Go into T-Hunt and practice taking the terrorists down without missing any shots, and if you can, try for the first shot to be a headshot. Game sense just comes with time, but by level 100 you should know the game pretty well now. Take a step back, and here's the tip I have for you. Approach situations as if you deeply cared for the operator you are playing's life. Don't make any stupid aggressive plays that have a high probability of getting your operator you care about deeply killed. If you're on bronze, I bet you don't drone much on attack, if at all. Not every single room has to be cleared with your drone, but every once in a while just whip it out and spend the next 15 seconds gathering intel. You'll be surprised how much better your attacks go. Also, you really do need to communicate more. Now let's talk about the silver players. I feel bad for you guys because silver rank is genuinely the most frustrating rank to be in really all of Siege. I mean, come on. Some players in silver are brain dead, while others are gods and destroy you before you even can process what just happened. Silver players, and subsequently silver rank, is the most inconsistent Siege experience out there. So why is that? Well, of course, there's Smurfs. We all know that. And, you know, they plague those silver ranks. Well, some of you guys are actually pretty decent and can win gunfights pretty easily. It's been a long time since I've been in silver personally, but I do remember you guys being pretty damn good sometimes. But here's the thing. Most of you guys make very poor decisions frequently, leading to you being in silver. And it's sad because you guys really do have potential to climb the ranks. You're just held back by poor decisions like, you know, obvious runouts or easily countered overly aggressive plays like spawn peeking or not retreating back to site or deeper in the map if you're getting droned out. You guys can hit your shots, but just play without brains sometimes. You guys aren't very coordinated as a team and will more often than not pick the fragging operator like Ash instead of taking one for the team and playing the Thermite or Maverick. Here's some assumptions I'm going to make about you guys and let me know if I'm right. If you're in silver, your most used operator is Ash or some other fragging operator. You don't touch T-Hunt, and if you do, then it's just like an hour every couple weeks. You solo queue more often than queuing up with a squad. Your sensitivity is probably too high, and you're probably someone who blames others for your mistakes in the game. Trust me, I have played with a ton of people that do this. No matter what, it's someone else's fault they died or lost. No matter what. If you're this person, first of all, you're annoying as hell. But for real, you need to realize that more often than not, you're the reason you died, okay? Sure, I mean, if you're anchoring and it's a 2v5 and you're like the only one left on site because all your roamers died, then it wasn't your fault you died or lost. It was your team's fault, and more specifically, the roamers who failed their job at killing the attackers or delaying as much time as possible while staying alive and making it back to or near site for the inevitable push on the objective. But overall, you silver players are pretty good, but still have some fundamental flaws that you need to work on if you want to dig yourself out and advance up in the ranks. Okay, now it's time for the gold players. Congrats, you are over the hump of the average players. The most players reside in high silver and low gold. So if you're in the gold ranks, you're above average at this point. Good job. Honestly, I don't have much to say about golds. You guys are only a couple steps away from hitting plat. A 5 stack of gold players will eventually hit plat if they work together as a team. There are still a good amount of gold players out there that aren't the best at strategies, and there are still some very uncoordinated teams. So if you have a 5 stack and communicate even somewhat decently, you have some good odds of beating the other team. If you're in gold, then you should have pretty good aim by now, and gunfights should only last like a few seconds at most. Strategy is being utilized much more now here, and it's very common to see some entry-level strats being played. Communication is much more required here to win the game opposed to like the silver ranks. The main thing holding you guys back from success is the lack of a squad and disciplining yourself with practice like aim training, quick peeks, flicks, crosshair placement, and sneaky angles to name a few. All right, now we're talking about the plat players of Siege. This is the rank I'm in, but trust me, I still feel like I suck at Siege sometimes. I will miss my shots all the time and make just super dumb decisions that directly lead to me dying and losing rounds too. But overall, plat players are pretty good, and some of you guys are like really, really good. By this time, gunfights are extremely quick and usually result in who can land the headshot first. Strategies are commonplace, and you'll see teams really working together to win. You're still going to have like your brainless Ash and Jaeger mains that don't help the team accomplish certain tasks, but overall, everyone is relatively working together. Stacks are very common here, so if you're solo queuing, you have to be willing to communicate a lot with the other randoms on your team, or the stack will win the majority of the time. One thing I will say is that there are a lot of plat players that are very toxic, and their egos are through the roof. Like, calm down, bud. Yes, you're destroying kids, but you don't need to goodnight people in the chat or GG easy after the game is over. Keep it clean and have fun. I'd say that so far, for me at least, that plat is the hardest rank to get out of by far. I've been plat for like 2 years now and still struggle to hit plat 2 most of the time. The skill gap between the average plat 3 and the average plat 1 is night and day. I would have to make like massive improvements for me to ever get out of plat. And you guys see my gameplay. I'm honestly not even close to getting out with my skill set right now. Coming up next are the diamonds, and holy God, you guys can be disgusting You guys have mastered the game and really are so close to being the cream of the crop with skill at the game. Gunfights are over lightning quick and the game sense is literally top notch. You know exactly who is on the other team just by listening to the sound of the guns being fired. Pro League level strats are very commonplace and everyone is cracked as hell. Odds are the hacking is pretty bad in diamond rank because the hackers are going to win a lot and fly through the gold and plat ranks and land themselves in diamond, but not make it to champ. Usually the count will be banned before they play enough games to get to champ. Now, odds are if you're diamond and play the game regularly, you have a small YouTube channel or stream often to show off your fantastic skills. Odds are you are on a team and have scrims to get better and have a taste of what a pro league experience is like. I've seen diamonds get pretty toxic too, but I think overall it's not too bad because at this point you really do care about your rank and you're not going to throw just because you're angry and possibly lose your diamond. Don't have much to say about you guys besides good luck on getting champ and help teach the plat players like me what they're doing wrong to get better so we could join you guys up there in diamond. Now, lastly, we have the champs. Champion rank is something I will literally never ever achieve. You guys are just like built different. Your reaction time, precise aim, god tier recoil control, and the deep understanding of the game is extremely hard to master. You guys have truly mastered the game. Odds are you play in a different aspect ratio and click on heads like it's nothing. You spend hours a week in T-Hunt grinding out your drills to get better. Now, just like the diamonds, you guys are on a team and scrim all the time with other champs. You know all the angles and utilize the map in ways I can only dream of. Good job on the grind, you champ players, and I respect you guys truly. Next step are the pros, so keep grinding it out, guys. Well, that's what your rank says about you. Was I right or was I way off the mark? You can let me know by leaving a comment down below. Now, if you did enjoy the video and think I did a good job making it, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications if you're new. Now, with all that being said, Jippy out.